Talmud, Jerusalem Talmud, Yomi, Tractate Orlah, chapter 2 and Mishnah 3. The Mishnah is Kol hamachmetz v'hamisabel v'hamadmeya betruma v'orlah v'klei kerem asur. Anything which sours or spices, mitabel, like tavlinim, mitavel. Anything which sours or spices or creates dema from truma or its orlah or vineyard kalaim is forbidden. The house of Shammai say, also it transmits impurity, but the house of Hillel say, nothing transmits impurity unless it has at least the volume of a chicken egg. Dostios from Kafar Etma. Interesting name. Let's see here. Dostai. Okay. Dostai ish Kfar Etma. Hayami Talmidei Shammai. So Dostios apparently was one of the Shammai disciples. Dostios from Kafar Etma was a student of Shammai. He said, I asked Shammai the elder, and he said, nothing transmits impurity unless it has the volume of a chicken egg. That seems like Hillel. And why did they say anything which sours or spices or creates dema is restrictive if a kind is mixed with its own kind, but permissive or restrictive if a kind is mixed with another kind? How is that? Sour dough from wheat, which fell into wheat dough and is enough to make the latter sour, whether it would qualify to be lifted by 1 in 100 or not qualify to be lifted by 1 in 100, it is forbidden. But, if it does not qualify to be lifted by 1 in 100, it is forbidden whether it is enough to make the latter sour or not enough to make sour. Permissive or restrictive if a kind is mixed with another kind, how is that? If groats were cooked with lentils, if they can be tasted, whether they would qualify to be lifted by 1 in 100 or not qualify to be lifted by 1 in 100 are forbidden. If they cannot be tasted, whether they would qualify to be lifted by 1 in 100 or not qualified to be lifted by 1 in 100 are permitted. Halacha. Now we're starting the halacha of the Mishnah. Rabbi Yossi in the name of Rabbi Hilfai, Rabbi Jonah in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. The house of Shammai made it as if swollen. Ketapuach, osino sobe Shammai. Ketapuach is like an apple. I don't know why they say swollen. Maybe, I don't know. Ketapuach, like an apple, or swollen. They translate swollen here, but tapuach means an apple. Maybe there's another translation for swollen. I don't know. But anyway, there we have stated dyer's water disables mikvah by 3 log, but not by a change in color. So if dyer's water, a dyer, someone who dyes clothing, and they use water and that goes into a mikvah, it disables it by 3 log, but not by a change in color. Abba, the son of Rav Nachman, said the words of Rabbi Meir because it is visibly drawn. Rabbi Huna, in the name of Rabbi Abba, Rabbi Meir parallels that of the house of Shammai. Just as the house of Shammai say, because of souring it makes sour, so Rabbi Meir says, because it is visibly drawn. So far, something to which prohibition and impurity apply. What is the rule if impurity applies, but not prohibition? If he took it from another place to make it sour, both are forbidden. If he added to the first dough and made it insignificant, the main object will be derivative, and derivative the main object. Heave a truma sourdough which fell into a dough that was lifted. If the dough became sour afterwards, it is permitted. Similarly, if a truma fig fell into 100 figs One was lifted, and afterwards the truma was recognized. Should it be permitted? There, the prohibited dough was not identified. Here, the prohibited fig is identified. Rabbi Jonah asked, "Why did we not state if groats were cooked with rice?" Our Mishnah follows him who holds that what gives a bad taste is permitted, but even he who holds that what gives a bad taste is permitted, here he will agree that it is forbidden. If truma groats fell into profane lentils and can be tasted, if he added profane lentils, they become permitted. How much does he have to add? A disagreement between Rabbi and Rabbi Ishmael ben Rabbi Yossi. In the opinion of Rabbi, one says until he adds for all of them. In the opinion of Rabbi Ishmael ben Rabbi Yossi, one says until he adds corresponding to what fell in. If groats were cooked with profane lentils and cannot be tasted, if he adds profane groats, this kind awakes its own to make it forbidden. I'm not sure what that means. But this should not be stronger than libation wine. As you say regarding libation wine, you disregard what is permitted. If what is forbidden can be tasted, it is forbidden, otherwise it is permitted. Here you disregard what is permitted. If what is forbidden can be tasted, it is forbidden, otherwise it is permitted. That means if he adds groats, the heave is permitted.